back to the Self-Made interview series. I'm Bianca Miller-Cole.
And I'm Byron Cole.
And today we will be interviewing the lovely Rita from Radiant Salon. She's also a fantastic creative and an entrepreneur. We want to hear a little bit more from her about how she became self-made. Rita, welcome to Self-Made.
Thanks, guys. That was really good.
Thank you.
Well, our first question is really pretty much, tell us about your journey and who you are.
Who am I? I guess my journey really started, I'm an actor as well, so I trained as an actress, so I always like to feel like my journey kind of just began there, really. I studied in New York for 2.5 years, studied acting. I came back to London, and what kind of got me into the salon was the fact that I kept going up for all these jobs, and I'll be really, really excited. I'll get a call back, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna make it. And then they would say, oh, actually, we've had to go with someone else. And that disappointment was just like, so crazy for me. So I'd always be really high and then just go really low. So it was just very up and down, because literally acting was like the only thing I would ever think about. So it was literally my entire world. And I just remember my dad sitting down with me, and he said to me, you know, everything that's really important that we need, we've got more than one. So we've got 2 eyes, we've got 2 hands, we've got 2 legs. Why would you think that God will only give you one thing that's gonna that's gonna make you be big, or that's your main talent? And that was like a light bulb moment. I just felt like, that's so true. Like, why do I feel like acting is the only thing I can ever be good at, kind of thing? So I gradually started working at the salon. So my mum had started the salon 16 years prior, but had left the salon. There was another manager there. So I started just working there as a project manager, really, just doing photo shoots here and there, because I'm an actor, I don't need it. Yeah. What am I doing there, you know? So I'll just like, you know, dip my little toes in there sometimes, you know, do the little photo shoots here and there. But then gradually, like, the more I was doing it, the more I started to kind of see the bigger picture of where I wanted to see the salon and what I wanted to do with the salon. And I just found myself getting deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And then here we are, where I'm very, very much the owner of the salon and very much deep in it, and very much, I very much have a strong vision for it and a strong passion for it alongside my acting. So I learned that my dad was right. You can actually, it can coexist, that's the right word for it, yeah. So yeah.
So how did you transition from just being kind of creatively involved and maybe kind of business development manager type of scenario to actually being full on, this is it now, I'm gonna put my time, energy and efforts into the salon and do acting, but a lot of effort into the salon?
It was a big jump. I wouldn't say it was like a conscious thought that, okay, I need to do this properly. It was more, the more I started taking it seriously and the more the salon started to grow, the more of my attention it required. Okay. So it was like, I just had to do it. And it was just, it was really natural, to be honest. Like I said, I was just kind of in there, and then it just grew like naturally. And I just found a lot of my time was at the salon, you know, because when you love something, you want to make sure that everything's going right. You want to be there. You do you know what I mean? You want to be around it more. So I kind of just found myself just immersed into the salon.
Excellent.
And something you mentioned in your answer was the disappointment of not getting that role. How did you deal with that, and what would you advise the younger you of how they would deal with that?
How did I deal with it? I think it was just, first of all, I cried a lot. Like literally, my acting teacher said to me, you know what, give yourself 24 hours, literally. When you're disappointed about something, give yourself 24 hours, beat yourself up, say whatever it is that you need to say, and then you get over it and you keep it moving. Okay. And I've just always carried that with me. And I'm a strong believer that what is for me will be for me. And a very strong believer that, like, I know good things are gonna come to me. So if I don't get something, you know, we don't see the future, and so something can look so shiny and so exciting, but we can't see what's ahead. We can't see that actually it's not gonna last more than a season, do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So I've learned to literally, like, you know, I just trust in God, literally, like, all right, cool, I didn't get this role. I'm really upset about this. I'm really disappointed about this because I really wanted it, but do you know what? I have a lot of faith that what is mine will actually be mine, and it will come in due time. So that was a big help. And my parents as well, like, they're very, like, encouraging. So whenever I wouldn't get something, it was like, okay, darling, don't worry, you know, the next one, it's okay. And again, the salon helped, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? Because as soon as that's not happening, I'm back at the salon. Do you know what I mean? I've got the staff that they're stressing me out, that, oh, we need products, we need this, we need that. So distraction helps as well, instead of like just focusing on it.
The way you dealt with that disappointment, have you taken that into the world of entrepreneurship? Have you, when something doesn't work out in a salon, do you give yourself that 24 hours?
155%. Like, that's why I think that's why it comes together, because everything I've learned as an actor, I use as a business person. Do you know what I mean? So if something doesn't work at the salon or someone says no or anything like that, I'm like, all right, cool. We're going to keep it moving. 24 hours. This is really bad. I don't have enough wages to pay the staff today. This is bad. But you know what? It's cool, because next month this isn't going to happen, or it could have been worse. So I always like to weigh up the pros and the cons. So if it's like I can't pay 2 of them, it's like, well, at least I can pay the 8. So the 8 are paid, let me deal with the 2. Do you know what I mean? So it's always that constant balance of trying to figure it out.
Risk.
Exactly.
Risk is a huge thing for us in the book. We talk about how the way I look at risk and the way Byron analyzes risk. And I started out being quite risk adverse. So if I'm going to employ a new member of staff and they're 30 grand, I'm like, okay, how am I going to get £30,000? What do I need to do in order to have that money? And Byron will look at it like, okay, that member of staff has a 3-month probationary period. That 30 grand is £1,500 a month for 3 months. So my maximum outlay is £4,500 if it doesn't go right. Like, he will look at risk in a different way. How do you analyze risk? What's your go-to? Do you just go for it? Do you find a new product and say, you know what, I'm doing it? Or do you take time and...
No, I'm very impulsive, and sometimes it works and sometimes not so much. Do you know what I mean? I'm very, if I have an idea about something, I get really anxious when I have to plan in advance. So if I have to plan like 6 months in advance, it's like, whoa, it's so long. Like, what? But do you know what I mean? So I'm very much, I've got an idea. Okay, guys, we've got to do this in 2 weeks. Like, we've got to make this happen. Do you know what I mean? But I'm learning to do the planning side as well, because as I said, sometimes it works. We will do a shoot and we do it in 2 weeks and it's out of my system and we're good. And then there's sometimes where it's like, you know what, we really needed that extra month to really get it together and make it work. So, but yeah, in general, I'm very impulsive. I'm very much, if they can do the job, all right, cool, we'll figure it out. So yeah, that's kind of like how I do things,
And what keeps you motivated?
My future, the idea of it. The idea of where I see myself, what kind of family I see myself having, where I see my business, like where I see my career. The idea of that literally just keeps me going, literally, because I'm just like, nah, I'm gonna be bougie. I'm gonna be able to afford these shoes real soon. But I need to do this first. I need to do that first. Do you know what I mean? So, because like my family, we very much look at things in the future. We don't really see things as they are now. That's how I've always been brought up. So for me, everything I'm doing now isn't actually about now. It's actually about the next 5 years or the next 10 years. So that's kind of what keeps me going when I want to just. It's like sometimes in the salon's really tough. I just want to be like, this is so long. I don't need this. I need to be living my life somewhere hot. Do you know what I mean? But then I get reminded, okay, but then, when, for example, I do want to be at home and when I have a family and I want to be at home, I want to have that income coming in. If I shut it down now, what am I going to do then? So it's like, all right, let's just do this.
So you've talked about planning quite a lot. Are you the type of person that has a to-do list, a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan? Do you have a vision board? How do you go about your planning?
So I've got a vision board that I look at every morning, but I don't update it often.
Can we ask what's on it?
It's just categorized really, because it's categorized into my love life, into
Would you have like a special man on the board?
I just thought, no. But however, I thought out of sight, out of mind is no good. So I thought, let me put it on there so it's in my sight, because it's not something I think about often. As much as I joke about it a lot, but I don't. It's not really at the forefront of my mind. So I'm like, if it's on this vision board, I need to remember that. You need to do this at some point. Do you know what I mean? And then I've got my acting stuff, so the kind of stuff I'd want to do, the kind of people I'd want to work with. And then I've got the salon stuff, the kind of people I'd want to work with there, the kind of clients I want, and just where I see the salon going. So I've just got that in 3 categories, and it's just in terms of inventory. In terms of actually like 5-year plan, like I said, that makes me too anxious. Like what I know is that I can just visualize the kind of life that I want, but I don't really have a concrete plan of, okay, because if I do this, then I'm going to end up here and then I'm going to end up there, because acting has taught me that it doesn't really work like that. Do you know what I mean? So I don't have that kind of plan, but I have a journal that I keep. So I have like a rough list of things that I ideally would like to achieve. Do you know what I mean? So in terms of opening up the second branch, that was always written down. So a matter of when, but my eyes were always open for when that opportunity came. Do you know what I mean? So I know, okay, there's that shop there. Well, it's on my list that I want a second branch. Do you know what I mean? So it's quite vague, and but the concrete stuff, ideally, I do need to learn how to do that. Do you know what I mean? But for now, that's not really how.
And whilst we're on that topic, what are your business goals?
Business goals. For me, I just want to see Radiant as literally like the top 5 in the UK. Do you know what I mean? I want people to, when they travel, to be like, I'm in London, I have to go to Radiant. Do you know what I mean? For people to just feel like, oh, I just want people to be able to say, do you know what? Radiant is actually the coolest space I can go to. It's not just a salon, it's an experience. Do you know what I mean? And I want that to cross over to my different branches. I'd want to have more branches, and I'd want each branch to give you a different experience and a different vibe of what a salon should be. So it's really about turning over what people think a salon is, especially a black salon. Do you know what I mean? There's all these views of, oh, they're always late, they're this, they're that, blah, blah, blah. The stylists are eating whilst they're doing my hair, it smells of food. None of that stuff. I want to kind of change how we view salons, you know, especially in the black community.
And what makes your salon different then from your competitors?
Me. Do you know what I mean? Literally, I believe that in any business, the first thing that is different is you, because you bring your vision to life. You know, we can read all these articles and all of these things and try and copy it word for word, but actually the key ingredient is you. So I've put myself into the business in terms of my characteristics, what I'd want in a business, the quirkiness of it, the fact that whilst I'm doing my hair, I like a Prosecco, you know, it'd be quite nice. Do you know what I mean? So it's that element of that wanting to enjoy life. So basically the Radiant Girl, and the Radiant Girl is part of me, is my different personalities, but the Radiant Girl is also the different kind of clients that come in. So overall, we focus on the hair, but we also focus on the experience. So we're more than a hair salon. I would say that we're kind of near enough trying to be more of a lifestyle brand, and I don't think that's something you really see with hair salons. So I guess in a sense that would be what would make us a bit different.
And how important is, you know, online brand and social media for you as an individual, but also as a business brand?
For me as an individual, I don't take it serious enough. Like I joke about on it a lot. But again, I'm just myself. In terms of the business, it's very, very, very important. Because I think people are very visual now, and people are very forgetful now, actually, because of all these stuff like Snapchat and all of that stuff. It's like you literally have people for 10 seconds. It's actually crazy, because you put something out there, but back in the days, people are still talking about it like weeks later and months later. Nowadays, the week after, they're onto something else. So I think as a business, you have to continually be releasing content and constantly being in people's faces. And I guess actually for me, even if my page isn't very precise per se, but I do make a point of being out there as much as possible, because like I said, I think my brand being me, it coincides with the salon. So the more people like me, the more that they want to come to the salon. So it kind of does come together, I would say,
So in terms of networking, do you use your network to get ahead, or have you done so in your acting career or for the business? Have you used any of your contacts to...
Not as much as I should. I know a lot of people look down on it like, oh yeah, you know, who you know and this, that, and the other. And I don't think it's a bad thing, actually. I think if you know someone who can get you to know someone else, then you should use it. You should say, hey, can you hook me up? Like, you know, this person. But for me, I actually haven't, to be honest. In terms of like my acting, I've got an agent. So everything I've gotten in terms of work has either been if I've contacted the company directly, which I haven't had to do with this new agent, because they're really like on it. But yeah, in the past I've had to I'll contact directly, or I would even make up an email until it's the right one. And actually I've been blessed enough that it was the right one and got the audition. Do you know what I mean? So stuff like that. So with acting, no, I haven't actually had the plug, really. In terms of the salon, I did have one person actually who she knew someone and she wanted to bring them over to London. So I just was like, hey girl, you know, when they're here, maybe I can do their hair. And then she did like a nice email intro, and the relationship sustained because they really liked me as well. So every time they were in London, they contact me. But most of the time, I'm literally that type of person. If numbers don't scare me.
Right.
Like, I'm not scared of like how popular someone is, or because I just kind of feel like you never know. Everyone needs to get their hair done. Do you know what I mean? And they could be sitting down thinking, man, I wish I had somewhere to do my hair, but I'm so busy, I can't be bothered. And then pops my email, and I'm like, and they're just like, that's perfect. So.
Is it a numbers game? Are you firing emails all the time, or are you quite specific? You see someone say, that person, I want to do their hair.
I used to be very numbers, like as many people as possible, but now I'm more specific. Now it's not just about, because now it's clearer the kind of people I want to be at the salon in terms of people that I want to endorse our brand. So I'm a bit more specific. But before, I would say about 3 years ago, it was like, you've got numbers, I need you at the salon because I need you to plug us. Do you know what I mean? Sure. But it's not so much now. It's just more about who I think fits the brand. Yeah, so it's a bit different now.
Tell us a bit about your talk show.
Oh, Heels Off?
Yeah.
Ah.
How did that come about first? Well, first of all, tell us about the talk show, and then how did it come about?
Heels Off is a show about, there's 4 of us, and we're just talking about life, and we're talking about anything. Yeah, just talking about life, really. And we all, like, we have different careers and stuff like that, so it's just a nice blend of personalities. Okay. And yeah, it's just like a cool girl collective, you know, of conversation. So it should almost feel like you're, you know, having a sleepover with your girls and you're just talking about guys, or you're talking about work, or you're talking about money, or just little like conversations like that. And how did that come about? Actually, one of the guys, he's a videographer, and he used to do videos for the salon. Okay. So from that, we started talking, and we were really cool and stuff. And then one day he was like, I really want to do like a talk show, like with girls and stuff like that. And I was like, man, I've always wanted to do something like that. But you know when you have an idea in your mind, but by the time you think about it, you have to get a camera. I was like, I don't want to be the one to do it, but I want to be part of it, kind of things. And then he said he wanted to do it, so I was like, that's cool. And we just left it. But then a few months later, he came back and was like, yeah, do you know what? I'm really going to do it. And I was like, yes, let's do it. And then he got like the other girls as well. And then we just started doing it, really. So it's really fun. It's really cool. It's really cool. We filmed a few more episodes a couple months ago. So he's just waiting to release everything at one go. Because one thing we had to learn about was you have to be consistent with the content, which is what I mentioned earlier. And we took a pause. And in that pause, so many other shows came in. So it's like, we're not the only ones anymore. So we've just had to kind of pull back and, you know, readdress. Exactly. So that's where we're at the minute.
Okay.
So what does being self-made mean to you? We've invited you on this show because we believe you're a self-made entrepreneur. You've created, great things within the salon and your acting career, and I'm sure there's more to come. But what does it mean to you?
Do you know what? I think to be self-made, it means kind of to be able to pick up and okay, let's start again. My idea of self-made is being able to put something on paper and being able to take it off the paper and make it happen. Do you know what I mean? I think there's many people that have loads of ideas. I'm sure people in their rooms, they have tons of ideas, but it's not just about your ideas, it's about what you do with them ideas, and are you brave enough to jump with those ideas. So I think for me, it's about being able to lift up your plans from the paper and make it a real thing, you know? So that's what I would say. Self-made for me, I think.
And have you made any sacrifices along that journey of becoming self-made?
Loads. Friendships. I used to run the business with someone else, and we were best friends. So, being able to work with your best friend, when you're just both doing it together, you're on the same level. But when suddenly you're having to tell your best friend what to do, it doesn't really work as much. So I guess friendships, in a sense, will get sacrificed, and it got sacrificed, I guess. What else? Maybe it's just the friendships, relationships, I guess, as a whole, because you're so busy and you're so focused on work, sometimes you forget like people who are around you and stuff. So I think your relationships do get affected as well. So yeah, I would say those are 2 things. I can't actually think of a third one right now, but I think, well, it's one thing, I guess, relationships.
But have you found that more of your friends now are entrepreneurs? Are you starting to move in like a entrepreneur circle, or have you still got the same friends?
I am very much, I would say my friends have changed, not necessarily to being business people, but but they have changed over time, not intentionally. Because they say that when you start to do well, they say that you're not the one that changes, it's the people around you that change. And I think sometimes people see you online, especially with Instagram and Twitter, they think, oh my God, she's made it. She doesn't need no one like me anymore. And that's actually not the case. Do you know what I mean? It's just all in the mind. So yeah, I would say that my circle has changed ever so slightly. I don't have a lot of old friends anymore. I wouldn't specifically say it's because they're not business people. I just think in time, I guess, and I haven't really valued relationships as much as I should have, especially like when I was in my early 20s and still doing the salon stuff and figuring out what does business even mean. I couldn't balance the two. So I've made like a conscious effort now that, yes, I'm all about my business, I'm all about my acting, but actually relationships are very, very, very important. So I make a conscious effort to make sure that do you know what I mean? I'm with my friends and I balance it out, and I go to birthdays, and because when it's your birthday,
you want someone to come.
It'll be nice. It'll be real nice. So yeah, I've been definitely learning how to balance it.
And in terms of, you talked about balance, the kind of like work-life balance. What do you do to kind of, I don't know, to stay focused, to maintain your health as well as being in business?
Well, my health. I eat pizza a lot, so I don't know if that helps, but it makes me happy. It makes me really happy. I have it at least once a week. I'm a foodie, so actually, food really makes me happy. It has to happen. But in terms of like to keep focused, what do? It's really odd. I think when I'm getting too stressed out, I pull back. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I need to just pause and take a moment to just figure it out, and that taking a moment will come in Netflix. Do you know what I mean? It might just be I'll just watch a show and I'll be so immersed in it. It doesn't really feel like anything's going on around me. However, sometimes I do get really cool ideas just from watching it, because suddenly my brain isn't focused on I need to get an idea, It's focused on like something going on Netflix, and suddenly my brain kind of opens up. Do you know what I mean? So
you
that's
need that downtime.
Oh my, no, I'm that kind of person. I don't like, that Sundays is not a work day for me. Like if someone emails me on a Sunday, I am not emailing them back. Like even if I've seen it, do you know what I mean? Because you just keep looking. But even if I see it, I'm not replying unless it's really, really urgent. Like my dad's always, it's all about balance. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not gonna like kill myself trying to like please the whole world. Do you know what I mean? So I need to give myself time. So I would always pull back. Certain times I'm not really replying to, unless, like I said, it's really important. Money doesn't sleep. If it's really important, you have to. But if I can avoid it, pull back. Sundays is my down day. Saturdays I wake up late because I feel like every meeting you've had the whole week to contact me. You've had Monday to Friday, and you're now saying you want to see me on a Saturday. Why? Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, I pull back, and if I have to have a meeting on a Saturday, it has to involve food. No food, no meeting. It's not going to happen, because in my mind, it's a brunch, and we happen to be exchanging ideas. During the brunch. But if it's like work and like, food is a major key. It's a major key, because if there's food and I'm happy, then it's cool, and that's it.
And what are your greatest achievements, A, in business and B, personally?
Greatest achievement.
Or your biggest achievements to date?
That's a really good question. It's so weird. You don't really think about it, because it's like when you haven't really hit what you really want, you don't really think of along the way. So let me give it a think. Achievement. I would say actually overall with the salon, I wouldn't say like a key moment, but actually being able to turn around the salon from being a place where no one knew, and when I go into a room and people are like, oh, you look familiar, oh, Radiant, oh, you're Rita Radiant. I think for me that shows that, wow, we've really achieved something here, to be able to like turn it around from, like I said, being something that no one really knew about to now something that most people will they do know about. So I think for me that's an achievement in itself, to be able to say that. I think, but personally, I should have thought about this. Personally, an achievement I'm really proud of. This is crazy. I can't really think of one, Again, I'll say overall, just the fact I'm still doing it, because I've had so many moments when I didn't want to do it. Like I said, you know, with the salon, with acting, there have been key moments where I thought, I don't want to do this anymore. This is long. A key moment in my acting, I would say, was about maybe 2.5 years ago. And I got dropped by my agent for reasons I don't even know. Well, they did tell me eventually. They said they didn't have passion for me anymore, but that's not really a legit reason.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, for them to even say that.
Yeah, right, very honest. Yeah, and I remember I was at the salon when I got the call, I got the email, sorry, and they said...
It was an email?
Yeah, it was an email, saying that you've been dropped. And I remember just thinking to myself, where am I going to start? Like, I do not have time to start, you know, that whole journey again of looking for an agent and submitting. When I was 18, I had all the time in the world, like, where do I start now? And that was like a moment where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore, this is long. Like, they drop me, then that's it. It means I'm not supposed to do it anymore. But actually, it was the total opposite, because when they did drop me, that's actually when I started getting proper work. It was the oddest thing, like, people who I'd auditioned for in the past, they had like now contacted me, wanted me to do like another project with them, and that project then led on to another project, and that project led me on to my agent that I have now. So it was a moment where I wanted to actually give up, because I had no idea of where I was gonna, you know, where I was gonna start. But in that moment, I feel like God really just turned it around for me, and I'm still in it now more than ever. In terms of the salon, again, there have been moments, like I said earlier, where we didn't make enough money. Do you know what I mean? Like, you had the numbers on Instagram, but it doesn't equate income. So we didn't have enough money. So the end of the month comes and we don't have the money to pay the staff. So it's kind of like, what do I do here? Like, I need to pay them. I can't say I'm running a business. And why am I doing this? Do you know what I mean? So I really had a moment where I did have to ask myself, why am I doing this? Do you know what I mean? Because no one is forcing me to do it. I can literally just be like, all right, this is a bit fun, and move on. But I'm still doing it for a reason. So I think the fact that I'm able to say that I'm still running this salon, we're about to open up our second branch, and I'm still acting after been doing acting since I was 11 years old. I think overall, that is an overall achievement. I would have liked to thought of like specific things. But overall,
look, in life, sometimes you have multiple. There's times in your life that I think often we don't recognize when we've done something well, and give ourselves that time to give ourselves a pat on the back and say, actually, you've done a good job here. You just move on to the next thing. But actually, it's so good sometimes to reflect on, actually, that went well, I did that well.
Absolutely.
I feel like I'm gonna go home now and start writing down. Like, okay, from 2011, this is what we've done.
We're going back a little bit far. Maybe 2 years.
Maybe 2 years, and just like really break it down. Yeah, it is important.
Because I'm sure you've had some phenomenal achievements. You're probably going to go back in the car and be like, oh, there was that, and that award, and that. But you know, that's.
I just remember we were in Elle magazine a couple of weeks ago as one of the top salons in London for Afro hair. So that was a nice achievement, because I love Elle, and so that was cool. That was a cool little moment.
So what advice would you give to your younger self? If you could have done this all over again, what would you have told yourself to do, or not to do, I guess?
I would have told myself, from back in the school days, I would have said to myself, Rita, there'll be plenty of time for boys, like focus in English and focus in maths. You're going to need it. That would have been number one. Further on.
That's good, so education,
Then we move on a little bit more. I think I would have told my younger self that everything always works out. I would have stressed less. Do you know what I mean? I actually would have enjoyed myself a bit more, even from drama school. Like, drama school was very serious for me. I was in New York, but I was like, I ain't going nowhere. Like, I need to focus on this. I didn't really fully enjoy, I enjoyed it, but not as much as I could have. Do you know what I mean? So I would have told myself, you know what, Rita, like, relax, enjoy yourself, trust your instincts. I would have told myself a lot, because there's been staff that we've hired who I already knew. You know when you just kind of feel uncomfortable, and I knew. So I would have said to myself back then, trust your instincts. Like, you're right. They are dodgy. Don't hire them. Someone better is going to come along. So I would have said, trust your instincts, Trust your instincts. And I would have, I think that's it, really. Trust your instincts and have more fun and stress less.
They're good ones.
Really good.
What's next for you?
Salon, more focusing on the second branch, which is coming fairly soon.
Yeah.
And I'm not giving it a date because a big mistake I made before was announcing too soon, and then so much drama happened, and now I'm just waiting. Yeah, so once it's done, then I'll announce an open date. So that's what's next in terms of the salon staff. Just releasing more content. We've pulled back a little bit because, again, we've just been working on the branches and stuff like that. But yeah, more content, just more cool events at the salon, acting-wise. Should be seeing a bit more of me as well, so that's really cool. And then, yeah, heels off stuff. Those three are like my main things at the minute, yeah. So that's it, really.
I hate asking this question because I find it really irritating when people ask me, but I'm going to ask it all the same. So how do you manage your time? Obviously, you've got three things you're concentrating on. You've got your acting career and the brand, you as a brand, I guess. You've got Radiant Salons and you've got the show. How do you manage your time?
Prioritize what's more important on that particular day. Do you know what I mean? And each day will be different. You know, some days, if I've got an audition that's on Wednesday, it means everything to do with the salon on Tuesday is not what I'm focused on. I need to focus on learning these lines and just focus on that.
And you've got a team that just takes over.
Yeah, because in general, I do have a team anyway. I've got a salon manager, and most things, you know, it runs anyway. So it's just a matter of me not just being extra and checking my emails and checking this, that, and the other, and just zoning out and saying, right, today we're focusing on my acting stuff. After my audition, then let's deal with the salon stuff. Do you know what I mean? So it's just a matter of prioritizing what is important in that particular week. Do you know what I mean? But there are some days where it's like in the last couple of weeks, it's actually clashed ridiculously. Yeah, it's like at one go, and I'm just like, what do I do? And I had to like leave, you know, I had to now like learn to trust my team. Do you know what I mean? Because sometimes when you're attached to your brand, it's like, it's my baby, don't let it go. But then you have to think, actually, this is what their role is. They know what they're doing. That's why you hire them, exactly. So trust them to do their thing whilst you focus on what you need to focus on. Otherwise, it'll just be impossible when it clashes like that, you know, so, yeah.
Excellent. And where can people find you, get in contact with you?
Yeah, so you can find me on my personal Instagram, which is Ms. Rita B, or on the salon Instagram, which is at Radiant London Salon.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. So thank you very much for tuning in. I really hope you enjoyed our interview today with Miss Rita B. We certainly enjoyed it. Tune in next time for more insight into different industry experts and also more entrepreneurs. Thank you.